Hello everyone, I want to do something with tea bags today, and this is for the prompt of the month challenge in the Facebook group The Mixed Media Emporium. The prompt for this week is tea or coffee. You could either do something with tea or coffee stained papers, you could do a tea or coffee themed art journal page or collage, or do something with tea bags like I'm doing here. And I'll leave the link to the Facebook group The Mixed Media Emporium in the description box below for anybody who wants to join along with our prompts and challenges. Now I've got various different colours and types of tea bags here. You can see I've got some round ones, I've got some square ones. These are all the same kind of square ones, although slightly different. And then I've got some of these ones here as well. I just absolutely love these. Now these of course started off life like this. These are some fruit ones, whereas I do believe that these are black tea. And you can see that these are sewn together, and all you do is snip the string at the top when they're dry, open them out, run the iron over them, and this is what you get. This is a fruit tea, which is much lighter, whereas I do believe this one is some kind of black tea. Now these ones here, to open them out, whether it be the round ones or the square ones, I find that the easiest way to do it, once your tea bags are relatively dry, that is, this is a brand new one, as you can see, is just open them out like this, as you would a bag of crisps or chips, as you would call it, across the pond. Make a snip, then put a pair of nail scissors in and just make yourself a little opening wide enough so that you can actually tip your tea leaves out. So there we go, we've now got an opening, and you just tip the tea leaves away. So this is what I've ended up with. So these ones are the same as this, so these haven't been submerged in hot water, these are just plain. As you can see, they've got a very slight patina, they're not quite white, whereas these ones are slightly darker because I used a used tea bag in hot water, so that it was very much diluted tea. This was Earl Grey tea, which isn't very strong anyway. And all I've done with these ones here is just spritz them on a piece of parchment paper. Then I've folded the parchment paper over and I've run the iron over them, which I find is the quickest way to, one, flatten them out and also dry them in literally a matter of seconds. So for those impatient people out there who want to follow along with this and haven't got any used tea bags at the ready, just grab yourself a handful of brand new ones, snip them apart, and literally in a matter of minutes you've got yourself a nice stash and you're ready to go. Now I've decided I want to make some ephemera using some of my dried flowers. Anybody who's followed me for any length of time will know that I've got quite a substantial dried flower collection that I've been pressing over the years. I have got some videos showing you how to dry flowers in an instant, so I'll leave the link to the video in the description box below. So I'm just going to place the first one in. You can see I'm using my tweezers here just because these are really fragile and you can't see them much at the moment, but I think by the time we've added some adhesive, these will go much more translucent. So I'm just going to carefully pop this inside, and I think that's exactly how I want it to go. I'm working on a piece of parchment paper as well, because obviously I don't want my tea bag to stick, but all I'm going to do now is use some matte medium. Mine's the Winsor & Newton Galleria matte medium, and I'm just going to go all over my tea bag, and you can see that it's going really nice and translucent now. Whoops, I think I just knocked my camera, my apologies. I've got it really close so that you can see what I'm doing, but I'm just going to go over the whole of this with the matte medium. You could, of course, use watered down PVA glue or watered down Mod Podge, same kind of thing. I like matte medium because it's matte and it's just nowhere near as sticky. Now what you do want to do is just dab down. You want to use an old paintbrush, don't use your best paintbrushes for this. Dab down because you want to get rid of any air pockets. And then I'm just going to put this on a fresh piece of parchment paper and pop it off to one side for it to dry. Let's try one using these longer pieces of paper. I've got this beautiful dried flower here, and I want to sandwich that in between these two sheets. What I need to do first of all is cover this in some matte medium. I'm going to cover, cover the first one in some matte medium, stick my flower down, then I'll need to add some more matte medium to the flower and then glue my next sheet on top. But I think this is going to give me some beautiful natural looking ephemera for my nature journal. Right, okay, so now I need to add some matte medium over the top of this, being really gentle. Let's do the leaves first. Don't want this to break up, and then I can put this on the top, and again I'm just going to go straight over this with another layer of matte medium. And once this is dry, I think I'd like to run around it with the sewing machine. See if I can get this straight. That will do. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've got this beautiful dried flower here which looks like a tree, doesn't it? And it's too big to fit onto any of my tea bags. So I'm just going to piece 2 tea bags together just on top of each other like so. And I think that's again going to be another beautiful piece of ephemera. What I'll do is add matte medium to the bottom, all over, whoops, which will give my dried flowers something to stick to as well. I love the colour of these tea bags here. I think these are the ones that that I sprayed with diluted tea. And I think, let's just check that for size just before I go over with more of the matte medium. I think a bit higher up. About there perhaps. I think that's going to be about the right size. Yeah, that will do fine. And let's go over the top of this as well. And then I'm going to use a ply of a white napkin to go over the top to hold my dried flower in place. So let's stick this on. Don't overthink where it's going to go too much, Nina. That will do fine. And then I've got a white napkin. Let's take the plies apart. And in fact, what I need to do first is just apply some more of the matte medium just over the top of the flower, just being really careful because this is fragile. Dried flowers are so delicate, but I just absolutely love them. Let's twist this around just so that it's easier for me to apply the glue. That will do. Make sure we've got plenty of wet glue in the background. Let's move that out of the way. And then let's put some of this white napkin down. Tap that on with my finger gently. And then I'm just going to go over with more of the matte medium, starting in the centre and just working my way out. And of course this will dry translucent, and you'll still be able to see the beautiful colour and detail of the napkin, of the tea bags underneath. Another beautiful piece of ephemera, in a different way again to use and be able to display my collection of dried flowers. And of course, if we've got the odd wrinkle or two, it doesn't matter. It all adds to the texture, doesn't it? The important thing is to make sure that you've got rid of any air bubbles by gently, and I stress gently, just tapping down, and leave this to dry for a bit, and then just maybe go over gently again with your paintbrush. And this is a very, very soft paintbrush, by the way, just to make sure that there's no air bubbles and everything is drying flat. These are dry enough now for me to tear off the tissue. And so what I'm going to do, in fact, let's see if I can tear it. I might need to resort to my scissors. Whoops, I'm going to do it with my scissors because I've torn into the tea bag already. Oops, oh gosh, that's annoying, but never mind. So I'm just going to carefully just cut around the edge. I mean, this is grunge leftover tea bags anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter. So let's just cut this off. It's getting dark. Well, it is dark here, so it's getting more difficult for me to see what I'm doing, but there we are. Need to get this video finished. Of course, I've had Toby all week, so it's just been impossible to get very much done whilst he's been around, but he's gone back to Alex now, so freedom. I have thoroughly enjoyed having him, I have to say. So that's that one there. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Now, this one here, I have enhanced the tips of the flowers with yellow, and I want to do the same with this one here. You've seen me do this before using alcohol markers, so I just want to bring just a bit more colour to this, just on the tips. We can add some pink as well, but this will just bring this to life. I can add some green as well on the leaves if I want to. Just make it more vibrant. And these are permanent alcohol markers that I'm using. So I've got sort of like a lilac-y colour. This is a Spectrum Noir one. So let's add some of this as well. And I've dug out a couple of shades of green as well. So let's just add a touch of this just to add a bit of depth to the greenery as well, to the stems. Not too much, just a bit. Let's add some of this as well. And so some beautiful ephemera for me to add to my journals. Isn't that gorgeous? So that's that one there. That one doesn't need anything doing to it at all. Now I have got a little bit of blistering around the outside of this one here, just because it's a more dimensional flower. But you know, that's okay. It's good enough for me. I'm also thinking that I might add a little bit. I wonder if I've got a more olivey green. Let me go and see what I can find. Here we are. I think this colour here will do. Now, which is the smaller end? So just going to add a bit of colour to this as well. Bring this to life, especially to define the outside edges. I love these. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Anything to do with dried flowers is right up my alley, especially when it's on a neutral background. Of course, I couldn't stop at 3. Let me just pop those off to one side. I made a few more as well. We've got this one here, this one, which I think is beautiful. And I just love the fact as well that some of the tea leaves are still inside some of these tea bags. And I just think it adds so much interest to the background. So we've got this one and then this one here. This one hasn't been enhanced in any way. This is just completely natural. I love it. And that one is more or less natural with a tiny bit of yellow just added to the stamen. But I just think they're beautiful. So pretty. These are just crying out to be added to a nature journal. So for any of you that are starting to prepare, ready for the spring and have got dried flowers left over from last year or previous years, I hope this has given you some ideas. I just think these are absolutely wonderful and a great way to use up your tea bags as well. But I'm leaving the video here for today, and if you've enjoyed what I've created and it's given you some ideas and inspiration, as always, I'd very much appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, but most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.